And this is according to the Googles. You ready for this?
Yep.
It means we must have a clear understanding of what we want. It must be a burning desire and passion for us.
Hey, Craig.
Let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Mr. Jason, welcome to Coffee Talk.
Ew, yes.
Yep.
How you doing, Mr. Craig?
I'm doing fantastical. I am doing fantastical. It's something that I learned recently is the importance of, I hope I get this word correct, definiteness of purpose.
Definitiveness. Definitiveness.
There's no V in it. It's definiteness. Yeah, that's definiteness of purpose.
Definiteness. Yes.
Because there's no V. I mean, I was on the thing so many times. Mr. Russell talked about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's unpack it.
What does that mean to you?
Well,
yeah, unpack that.
It means going in and doing something with that all-in mentality, right? Your purpose there is no question as to how definite and intentional you are with that purpose or goal that you're going after. There's no doubt in your mind, right? So whether it's I'm going to write 250 or my team's going to I'm not going to write 250. My team is going to write 250 and I have definiteness of purpose around how that's going to be accomplished, right? And I think maybe it is. It's having an understanding of what it takes to reach that purpose versus just wanting it. I know we talked about it before. Remember with the life insurance, I want to do a whole bunch of life insurance. Well, that's nice, right? Where's your definiteness of purpose? How do you know that that's going to happen? You can't just know by wanting. You have to, by putting in the right systems and processes. I feel like a broken record sometimes with this, but it's all that matters. And it's what we, for some reason, avoid doing almost at all costs. Right?
Right. Yep. Yeah. It's the thing that gets you going. Right?
The thing that gets you going.
Well, knowing. So I think that a good way to look at it too is when you have that definiteness of purpose. Is that right?
Yeah, it was good. You didn't say it with a definiteness of purpose, but
no. But when you have that, it's the thing that keeps you going in the sense of you have to have that GPS, like we've said in the past,
right?
Because it's so easy to get so off track.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can even take it few steps higher than that. It's why are you doing what you're doing? You know what I mean? And keep going higher, higher, higher so that, in the morning when you don't feel like, I'm just going to show up and not do that meeting today.
Right.
It's so easy to not do the meeting or not get psyched up. And then it's it can trickle out. It only takes one day to derail your team.
Yeah. Because, what's interesting is because as we all know, you're going to avoid pain, right? People will avoid pain. And so the pain of not running the meeting, if you're not in the mood, right? And that's a whole other thing. We talked about the 400th episode, not being in the mood. You need to get yourself in the mood. But the whole pain of having to do it when you don't feel like it versus the consequence of not doing it. The consequence today is pretty much nothing, right? If you don't go do the meeting, nothing's going to happen. No big deal, right? But the pain over the long run of not doing that meeting today is significant, right? Because, if I don't do it today, you know what? Nothing happened yesterday when I didn't do my sales meeting. So what's the big deal? I can skip it today. And then skip it the next day, then skip it the next day. And all of a sudden, you're 30 days down the road and stuff starts to fall apart, right? The wheels are coming off the cart, sparks are everywhere. It's not a good scene. And then the pain has become so great that now you're going to do the thing that you really hate doing, which is, oh boy, I have to redo everything. I have to readjust all the stuff. Maybe I need to go start hiring looking for new people because now it's their fault, not our fault. And so it's a slippery slope, Mr. Jason.
Yeah. And I think the definiteness of purpose too is that's such an interesting word, but it's being just spot on with what you want to achieve, whatever that may be. If you're going for like the $250 a month, is know that's your number, and you're willing to almost do anything to get it because you know that not only is it doable, but you guys are going to do it. And I think it's a lot easier for people to waver less when there's not accepting another outcome. And that's, it's kind of like when you first have a sales team, for the first couple of years, man, that we had our team, we would hope I hope we get like right around blah, blah, blah number. Right. There's a lot of this hoping, but it wasn't boom. This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's a shift. It's a shift in thought, and it's a shift in the way that you operate to achieve. Yeah. And I think, the fish always rots from the head. So you as the leader have to have that, because if they see that it's a pipe dream, then they're going to act like it's a pipe dream. We probably won't hit it. Yeah.
I'm going to preface this quote with a disclaimer that it's not mine, and there is a little bit of language in it, but it's about hope. And a guy that I used to know, or that used to own this restaurant that we used to go to, Johnny Burke, he used to say, hope in one hand and poop in the other, and see which one fills up first. Meaning that hope isn't going to do anything, right? It's not going to fill up the hands. Now, the other thing is, so it tells you something. What it tells you, it tells you that you shouldn't just hope, because it's not going to get you there. That definitive of purpose is, and this is according to the Googles. You ready for this?
Yep.
It means we must have a clear understanding of what we want. It must be a burning desire and passion for us. When you have definiteness of purpose, you will not be distracted by anything that takes you away from pursuing this purpose.
Right.
Huge, and right?
That was what was so cool about Rusty B saying that word. Was that that word, is very difficult to say.
It is.
But that word is strong. Like, that's strong.
Yeah.
Right. That's the people that achieve, the agents that achieve have that hands down. The people that don't aren't doing as good.
Right. Well, and is it a burning desire, right? Like when we're clipping along, I have a burning desire to win, and that shows with the lengths that and you do too, the lengths that we will take to ensure that we crush it, right? Like, I'm not as concerned about the pain of money going out as I am with getting it done, because I know that getting those results is going to come back, right? The money's coming back. It's business and it's money, and it comes back if you invest. And, that's where you say this all the time. Why would you invest in another business in the form of, taking the money out, buying stock or whatever, instead of injecting that right back into your own business? Unless there isn't a burning desire, there isn't a definiteness of purpose to just take it to the next level. It is scary, right? It's scary adding another employee. It's scary spending an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on marketing. But these are the things that it takes to get to that level, right? To where you're writing more than you ever thought. Hoping that it'll happen it doesn't happen. Mathematically, it doesn't happen. If you don't put enough gas, the car isn't going to drive the distance that is required by that amount of gas.
Right.
Kobe
100.
Kobe had a definiteness of purpose around winning championships, around his numbers when it came to shooting it and scoring, right? Like, I guess field goal percentage or free throw percent, all of those things. There was a definiteness of purpose around it. And if you think of any high level producer in any field, even outside of the insurance world, it's there, right? It's not because they're magic. It's not because Magic Johnson, yes, because he is magic, literally, that's his name. But everyone else, it's because you have that drive, you have the burning desire, and it's going to happen. One of the really cool things my wife has said to me, and I think yours has said it to you, is that when you say you're going to do it, like my wife, she says, well, if you say that thing is going to happen, I know that it's going to happen, at all costs. Like you're going to make it happen. And so that's pretty cool. It's like a nice thing to have to hear from your spouse, because it's true. Like there's a drive there. Eliminating some of the bad behavior, like the drinking, created that opportunity to put that passion into this type of thing.
Right.
There definitely was a definiteness of purpose around drinking at one point.
Yeah. Or lack of. And that was the reason why it was so easy to.
Yeah.
And I think the whole deal with clarity is it's difficult. And I don't know why it's so difficult. I don't know why it's so difficult to get real clear on those things. The purpose,
Maybe there's work behind it.
Sometimes it is. You just do all these things that it's like you and I were talking about. It's easy to, you're going in this direction. I think we do this in business a lot, just as a whole, as most businesses. You go in this direction. And if you're going in this direction, there's all these things that should be done. So then you start doing all these things. And it's like, yeah, but if you know where you're going exactly, then all those things don't necessarily need to be done.
Right.
Because you have the clarity of knowing the end result instead of the direction. If you just have the direction that you're going, it opens the opportunity for a lot of stuff. And then you do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff doesn't equal success on where you're going.
Right. It equals busy, but busy doesn't mean anything. Right. And I'm the worst at that. Like I'll get into all of
Don't say that, Mr. Craig.
Well, you've helped me with that. I'll instantly jump into the little granular stuff. And it's like, zoom back here. Well, that stuff doesn't matter because that stuff is all going to fall into place. Right.
Right.
And it's even with, if anybody could take this away, like there's a lot of ways to do things, right? Our goal as the leader is to paint the vision and create the momentum into that execution. It doesn't have to be done an exact certain way, right? So I think it's important to release some of that control and empower the people in the organization to do it. Like, if people will move a lot further with a lot more motivation, if they can have if they're bought in and they can have some input into the how, right? The how of the way that it's done. From anything, from the script, right? That's why when we do the script, you don't just go, here's the script, read it. It's let's build this script together, right? Like the scripted daily drills, that wasn't us just sitting here. It was input from other producers, other agents coming together and putting that together, right? So there's so many things like in the little granular details that don't have to be done an exact way. And I think that iron fist of it has to be done this way, my way, or the highway. It's not a great way to lead the organization. All due respect, if you do that.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's going to lead to a lot of frustration.
Right.
So just think about that.
Right. Think about that. There's frustration on your end because you want it to be done XYZ. And for employee A, maybe they would do a better job if it was just slightly different. Right.
Right.
And now you're not frustrated because they're not doing it exactly the way you want. And they're not frustrated because they're not being micromanaged into doing it this exact way. As long as it gets done, and again, is legal, ethical, doesn't hurt anybody, then who cares? Who cares how it's done?
Right.
I don't care. It's funny, like some of our best days are the days when I'm not here because I can find myself interjecting when maybe it's not necessarily needed. Right. And at least I'm aware of that. It's a work in progress. Work in progress.
That's all we are, my man. And that's the difference between people who are good and people who are great, is that the people that are great constantly work. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. Right. So definiteness of purpose.
Definiteness of purpose. What if it was definiteness of purposefulness? Oh, man. That's a tongue twister. So
crazy, Mr. Craig.
While you're using your definiteness of purposefulness immediately pushing the button on your phone that says subscribe, you're going to get some great notifications that are going to tell you about the next episode. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.